week is that a good number of houseplants in your house really look great. And not only do they look good, but they humidify and they help to filter the air in the house. And that brings me around to my plant of the week, which is the chlorophytum, or the spider plant, which is one of the top-rated plants for filtering air. So it's one of the plants that you should have in your house and help keep your air nice and fresh and clean. There you go. That's my tips and plants for this week. Remember to check growercoach.com.
And Ken, there's several varieties and types of spider plant. There's that crinkly leafed one that you gave me a slip of, and there's the variegated ones. Some are variegated with a lighter color inside the leaf, and some with a lighter color outside the leaf. Then there's a straight green one. How many are there?
Camosum.
How many?
Yeah, there's a lot of different types, and there's even some broad-leafed ones that have much wider leaves, which are really cool. There's I can't remember the name of it right now, but a bunch of different chlorophytums. You can look them up, obviously, and I think I would really like to get some of the other ones that aren't just the skinny leaf type, because some of the wider ones, they have bright yellow stems and nice wide leaves and really quite pretty. So, yeah. Cool plant, and but you don't see those very often. No. The other types. So.
Yeah, well, and it all depends on demand, I guess. But there we go. I made a mistake, and instead of my tip of the week, I was going into the Tiger Woods thing. Tiger is playing at the Masters, of course. So are a few Canadians. We've got three of them, I think, have made the cut.
Yep.
Mike Weir and others have made the cut. Mick Taylor, I think his name is. And but Tiger, I'm a Tiger follower, of course, because I love the whole special story that he's had over the years, and of course he's still in the hunt for another major.
He always
three
is.
More majors.
Yep.
To catch up to Jack.
He's a contender, is what he is. It's like you can't rule him out.
He is. He's a grinder. And now Tiger Woods is sitting in the same position today. After the 36th holes, the second round, he's sitting tied for 17th after 36 holes. Same position as Jack was in 1986, Jack Nicklaus. Jack was 46 years old. Tiger, I believe, is 44. So it's going to be interesting to watch. I mean, let's face it, it's often when you get up in that age-old 40s, once you're in your 40s, you're over the hill. And fatigue steps in.
Yeah.
And old injuries. Tiger's got lots of them. So there you go. Enough golf. We're going to get back into gardening now.
Golfing is sort of a turf-related
It is.
thing,
And
for sure.
I do a lot of gardening when I'm golfing because I'm always making these divots and not in the right spot. I make the divot before I hit the ball rather than after I hit the ball. But anyway, it is what it is. Plant of the week, Eddie's White Wonder, Ken. It's an amazing plant, and the reason that I brought it up this week and highlighted it was because back in the day, I mean not back in the day, but just a couple of weeks ago, we were in the beautiful gardens in Vancouver, the Van Dusen Gardens, and I came across an Eddie's White Wonder. And this wasn't just any Eddie's White Wonder. It's a tree with a real cool history. It's the oldest specimen of Eddie's White Wonder that was bred by Vancouver nurseryman Henry M. Eddy. 1881 to 1953 is when he lived. He immigrated to Canada from Scotland in 1910. That was the year my dad was born. The Eddy Nursery Company, with its retail location on 41st and Marine Drive, was popular with the local gardeners for decades. An active plant hybridizer, Eddy wanted to develop a dogwood with the large flower size of our native dogwood, the Cornus natalii, and the fine fall color of the eastern flowering dogwood, Cornus florida. He made this cross in about 1945 and named the best seedling Eddie's White Wonder. Cuttings were made, and one Eddie's White Wonder was planted at the Eddie's retail location. Now, this was fortunate because the Great Fraser River flood of 1948 hit Eddie's wholesale nursery, causing the original tree and all the other cuttings to be destroyed.
Wow.
In 1972, Eddie's White Wonder received an award of merit from the Royal Horticultural Society in England and the Reginald Corey Memorial Cup as the best new hybrid. And in 1977, it was awarded a first-class certificate by the Royal Horticultural Society. It's named the Centennial Tree for Vancouver's Centennial in 1986. Henry Eddy died in 1953, but his business continued by one of his sons, J. Henry Eddy. In the fall of 1994, this is where it comes in, the Van Dusen. J.H. Eddy offered to have his father's famous tree moved to Van Dusen's Canadian Heritage Garden, where you can see it today. Not only is this tree a survivor, but it is in fact the mother of thousands of Eddie's White Wonder dogwoods planted throughout the world. So,
fascinating.
Yeah. And guess who didn't take a picture of it? Well, I was there. I didn't take a picture of it.
Well, you don't want to get a picture of it when it's in bloom anyway, right?
Yeah, but fall color's pretty cool,
I have to go back in May next year.
I will.
Anyway,
that's the story of Eddie's White Wonder. And Dad used to talk about the Eddie's nursery quite a bit. And I believe we might have even stopped in there into the retail, because I know we went to all the nurseries. And I just recall going. I know we went into Hunter's and to Art Knapp's and those early nurseries.
Yeah, we went there when I was in horticulture school back in the 80s. Yeah, we went to the original site and I had a tour there. It was really great. Yeah, and then I went over to Thomas Hobbs' place as well.
Yes,
the same trip, which isn't too far from there.
Yes, right, Thomas Hobbs. Right.
Yeah, which was a pretty cool little garden center, that's for sure.
Very different, very upscale, and he was. I wonder how Thomas is doing.
I don't know. Yeah. I haven't heard from him for a while.
Well, there you go. There's the preamble and the tips and plants of the week. 250-862-2525. If any of you want to pop in and say hello and ask a gardening question, we're open for business here, and we love to hear from you. I believe our good friend Dan Bruce is going to be calling in today.
Yep.
He's got some more information on the yam sweet potato controversy.
Oh, good.
Well, it's not really a controversy, but it's just a misunderstanding of what it but anyway, he's got more information on it.
Good.
And I'm going to ask him about that fruit that he served us as a dessert.
Oh.
It tastes way better than it smells.
And
I can't remember
durian?
That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Durian.
Yeah. Yep. Durian.
My goodness. Now, that is something else. If you smell it, you don't want to eat it. But if you eat it, you want to smell it, and then you don't want to eat it again.
A little clothes peg on the nose. That's what you need.
Durian. Yeah, kind of cool. So Dan's always finding these exotic things out there to eat, to put on his table, which is kind of fun, kind of cool. I think what we're going to do, if Gurinder allows it, we're going to take a short break and invite your calls, 250-862-2525, to get through to Ken and I. And we're going to do that. We'll be back with more AM 1150 Garden Show. And Ken and I are here in the studio to help you. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. I was out spreading nature's gold in my garden. And in our garden, I should say. We have a big load of nature's gold come in. I like to do that in the fall and put the nature's gold on the bed so all that leachate goes down into the ground over winter. And in the spring, nutrient-rich, yoo-hoo, the plants are just excited, right?
Yeah, the organic acid that I often talk about related to compost is the key, I would say the key ingredient in all compost that just releases the nutrients, makes the nutrients readily available to the plants, makes it easier for them to uptake them, and the plants just love it. It's the best thing.
Well, we're doing our best here, and I've put a little layer over my garlic, just for
That's recommended to do a little mulch over
the garlic, and put some around my hybrid tea rose. I only have one hybrid tea rose. The rest of them I let go. And Ken, that rose that we have, the Olympiad, it's a grandiflora, and it's top grafted. And all the years that we were in business and selling roses, we would often tell people, the standard roses are really not hardy here, especially the hybrid teas and the grandifloras. Sometimes the floribunda types might be okay, but be darned if that thing has been living in our garden on the south side of the house.
Close to the house on the south side, right?
Close to the house on the south side.
Yeah.
We
So
never cover it.
That's a whole zone difference. It's warmer.
There you go.
Yeah. It's just a few degrees.
Are you saying there's hot air coming out of our house?
I'm saying there's maybe above average amount of high temperature there nearby. It's coming from somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know that, you just walk across the street, microclimates, right? There's good microclimates and bad ones, and frost traps and all kinds of things that you run into. And I mean, you don't have to go far. In Kelowna, there's just this little spot downtown where it's nice and warm, but you don't have to go far to get into the cold, and you drop another whole zone. Yep. So I think close to the lake is about a zone 6. Mm-hmm. But I think if you have these protected little environments, they're closer to zone 7, which is what a lot of those tea roses and hybrids are. Mm-hmm. And but when you go up in the hills here, go up into Rutland, you're getting closer to zone 4, zone 5. It drops down, and then head out to Winfield. We're mostly zone 5, but you go up on the hills or in the frost pocket areas, and the frost pockets sometimes are really bad. They're sometimes worse than, at least if you're on a bit of a hill, the frost seems to drain away. Yeah. But when you're in the bottom in the valley, it tends to pool.
Mm-hmm. But Ken, so I have a Magnolia grandiflora in my yard. The Magnolia grandiflora Edith Bogue is the variety.
Yep.
And I've had more enjoyment out of that than you can imagine. Blooms right through the summer here, sporadically, but blooms through the summer. It doesn't come on like your regular magnolias with a big blast in the spring.
Yeah.
It just, the blooms are here and there, which is kind of nice. I mean, it doesn't have the big show, but when it does bloom, it's got to bloom 6 inches in diameter and very fragrant, and keeps coming on all summer.
Yeah.
Now, what my question for you is: have you ever seen one? Well, first of all, have you seen any around planted in gardens that you work with?
Not that I work with, but I have seen a few around.
Around. I know. Lois Bennett has one, or 2 or 3 actually. And that's what I got the idea to plant one. But what I want to do is get some, I'm trying to root some of mine, and it's really hard to root. I haven't been able to be successful, but I'm going to try a couple of other methods. But if I could get a couple of Edith Bogue magnolias, I would like some clients of mine, if I'm working with them, try one up at Gallagher's, try one up in East Kelowna on the bench there. Try one in, various other areas and just see how hardy they are. Because mine has shown not an inkling of unhardiness.
Yep.
Yep.
And that, I think that it's a combination of things, soil conditions as well. And most magnolias are pretty happy with our soils here in the Okanagan, being alkaline as they are. Mm-hmm. Most of them like that. Yeah. Not the Virginianas. They are not particularly good for the alkaline conditions, but most of them love it.
Well, there you go. We've got Ariel joining us. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning, you 2 fine men.
Oh, thank you.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
I just was out perusing the garden after that snowfall. My hellebores is covered in little white pieces, bugs almost. I think they are. And then I opened it up and looked down there at sort of the roots, and it looked to me like there were some aphids, but I don't know if the white flies.
Well, it's hard to say without actually seeing them, but maybe you'll be able to take a close-up picture and send that off to us. But they're I know with a lot of my hellebores, they do develop a lot of aphids, but the one that looks white like that is usually a woolly aphid or a woolly adelgid, which is same kind of concept. So I guess you really just need to have a close-up picture. The white flies do fly around in the fall, and they'll often attach onto plants, or they seem to migrate towards the Oregon grape plants, which have a similar leaf in a way to a hellebore. So at least in the kind of that leathery sort of type of leaf, but. Interesting. I think we need to have a close-up picture.
The sun is shining on it now, and as soon as I get off this phone, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to take a couple little pictures.
Awesome.
And we'll check our emails here, Ariel.
Yeah, you bet.
Pop it off to you. So the second question I have is I have a friend that I've been. She's an elderly lady here in the building, and I'm working with her on these Christmas cactuses. And she had one that was her mother's, and it's over 40 years old. And it was, she got sick and nobody was looking after it. And I sort of rejuvenated it a bit by cutting back stuff and that on it. And it actually did do pretty well out there in the garden. And I had split off, or I'd gotten one of the pieces and then put it into another pot. It did develop buds, and we brought it in, in I think the beginning of October, something like that. Now, I don't know. I told her, I said, don't water this, okay? And she's one of those people that's got to water things. Mm-hmm. Now, she did develop a root. She did develop some blooms on it, okay, some really nice double blooms. And then what happened was the bloom buds started to dry up, and she came down in the panic. It's not getting enough water, so I watered it. Mm. And I said, oh, okay. So I went up and I took a look at it. And I said, well, I've got to go talk to the experts here about this. Can you explain to me a little bit about the care of these things when they're coming into bloom and that?
Yeah, for sure. Like what I do is I definitely have them outside often through the summer, and then I'm trying to get them through a period of cool nights. So that leans into the month of September. I don't like to leave it too late, but they can get quite cool at night. And that what that does is sets the buds in the stems so they're ready to bloom. I don't really like it if they're setting bud outside, but sometimes they do. But I'd like to see the tiny, tiny little red dots that the buds are actually starting to form. Then at that point, I can just bring the plant in and grow it as a normal houseplant. So as a normal houseplant, these plants are tropical, so they're not like a desert cactus so much. They're more like a tropical rainforest cactus, which means they appreciate high humidity, and they do need some moisture from time to time. They don't like to be bone dry, but what you do is you don't want them to be soggy wet either. So you're sort of riding this sort of slightly moist situation all the time. If they dry out completely during a bloom, then the blooms will wilt right away, and the plant can lose those flowers. They'll drop really quickly. So I always find that when they're in bloom, I like to keep them relatively regularly watered. So I just feel the soil, put my finger in about an inch or so deep, and try to get a sense of the moisture level. And if it's questionable, I just give it some water. But I don't overwater it. Like some plants, I'll just water it just enough to get by. So I'll water it lightly, maybe 3 times, and that'll get a soak maybe down a few inches or so. And then I maintain that right through. And then at some point, again, I'll give it a good soak and then let it dry out. So I like to just let them dry between waterings ultimately, but just not bone dry.
Well, okay, maybe that was a mistake we made. And what about the Crassula ovatus? I've got 4 of them in here, and they did fabulous out in the summer. They got 3 times bigger.
Oh, nice.
So you said, I think, at one time that they don't need really any water during this time.
Yeah. Yeah, with all these succulents, like even this Christmas cactus is a succulent. So what that means is that the leaves will puff up and they'll be turgid, nice and full and plump and full of water. And that's telling you the level at which they're holding water. And then as soon as those leaves start to shrivel or shrink a bit, then you know that they're at that point where they're starting to feel the pain of running out of water. So that's the symptom. So even if I have a Christmas cactus or a jade plant or whatever the plant is, I just observe those leaves, and when they start to wrinkle a little bit, I know, well, something's going on. If I check the moisture and I go, oh my God, it's still really wet, and they're wrinkling, it's like, that's root rot for sure, right? But if they're wrinkling and it's bone dry, well, then you can trickle a little bit of water, but the jades prefer to be dry right through the wintertime. But the whole question is when do you give them the last watering before winter hits? And I did mine about 2 weeks ago, and that would be the last watering until about the end of February.
Oh, so maybe I should get them some water because I haven't watered them really since I came in. They came in.
Yeah, like I say, light waterings on all sides of the plant. Multiple light waterings just so it soaks in a bit over a period of an hour or two, and then again check with your finger to see what's going on, but don't super saturate it. That's for sure.
I got this. I'm just going to tell you something really I'm excited about. From Lee Valley, I got this. It came from Germany, and it's kind of like a green. It's a green bubble on the bottom, and it's got a stainless steel little fixture in the top with a tiny little spray on the end. Mm-hmm. And you fill it up with water to water your seedlings, but I've been using it to water the plants.
Oh, nice.
It's really cool. It came from Lee Valley, and I just love it. It was a bit expensive. I just wanted to tell you that, just for watering little plants, little things. Well, and I can't wait to start my zinnias and water it with that.
They do come up with some interesting stuff at Lee Valley. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
For entertaining me.
Okay. Ariel, thank you for calling. We appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks,
now.
Ariel. Yeah,
we're at the bottom of the hour here, Ken.
Yeah, and looking forward to seeing those pictures. From Ariel.
Yeah, Ariel, if she can send us those pictures of the problems she's having with her hellebore. However, at this time of year, we can expect some frost, and a lot of those things are going to get nailed over the winter. We have aphids on our hellebores as well. I gave them a little swish just to kind of eliminate a few of them, and we'll see what happens. I mean, that hellebore that we have there, huge leaves on it. It's one of the nicest I got it at Brian Minter's place 3 years ago. 250-862-2525 to get through to Ken and I today, and we will take a short break. We'll be back with more AM 1150 Garden Show. We are here with you on a beautiful Saturday morning for our 1772nd show since 1983.
It's been a while,
kind of fun to think about that. Never thought that when I started this show back at CKOV back in 1973 that we'd still be doing it in 2020. But 1983, I should say. Today is 9 hours and 4 minutes long, 7 hours and 3 minutes shorter than the longest day in June, 21st. And by the time we get to December, on December 21st, it'll be 8 hours and 5 minutes. We're going to lose one more hour between now and December 21st.
It's kind of depressing, but that's all right. That's winter. It's designed, for us. I think we're used to it in a way, and it's time to slow down and go to bed early and get up early and enjoy the peacefulness of the whole thing.
Dr. Henry says it's not forever. It's just for now.
Yeah.
It's not forever. Okay. Yeah. We got Dan Bruce joining us. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
How you doing, Dan?
Well, the sun is shining this morning as opposed to what happened yesterday.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful day today. It's a gorgeous day to be in the Okanagan, and it's not freezing. I don't know if it's freezing at your place, but it wasn't freezing at my place last night.
No, it's plus something or other here.
Yeah. Before you get on to the topic, the controversial topic of Ipomea versus the sweet potato versus the yams, okay? I want to talk to you about a fruit that you served us for dessert when we were at your place years ago, durian.
Oh, yes.
Fascinating. I mean, it's on the internet. It says durian is the world's stinkiest fruit. Now, they compare it to
ginkgo,
dirty socks and whatever, but it tastes really good. Now, I did taste it, and I don't remember the taste, but I appreciate it. Because I was invited to your place for dinner. I obviously tried a little bite or two, but so you can still get it in Kelowna, durian?
Yes, I think it's available at the Superstore and at the Oriental Supermarket. There may be a couple of other places, but they bring it in frozen from Thailand or some place in Southeast Asia where it's normally grown.
Right.
And durian has an interesting reputation in that in the countries where it's grown, quite often it's forbidden in public places because of the smell. Apparently on the buses of Singapore you may not transport durian.
And this is what brought the question up. If you can't transport it on a bus or subway, how do you have it in the fruit section of a store without it putrefying the store?
Well, I think because the fruit that's exported is treated a bit differently in that it's not allowed to ripen right there. It's picked in a greener state and then frozen and then exported. And it will, to some extent, ripen and certainly become edible here, but it won't develop that controversial smell.
Yeah. Now, Dan, before we leave durian and get on to your chosen topic today, the durian, it's saying here. Now, this is what blows my mind. The more I, am interested in horticulture and botany and whatnot, this blows my mind. The durian is the fruit of several tree species belonging to the genus Durio. Yeah. There are 30 recognized Durio species, at least 9 of which produce edible fruit, with over 300 named varieties in Thailand and another 100 named varieties in Malaysia. You talk about plants. I mean, holy man. Doesn't that it just blows my mind?
Well, that is the point. And there are many, many, many species out there. Some of them are very similar and some of them are very different. But what we see in the supermarkets here are limited, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even like mangoes, we only get, I think, 2 types of mangoes that you see here, and there are a lot of mangoes.
Two common ones, yes.
2 common ones.
If you really search, you can find maybe another 2 on top of that. But I mean, growing up as a kid in Jamaica, there were at least 10 different mango varieties, and they were all sold in the markets. I mean, as a kid, I could look, at 30 paces and tell you what variety that was and whether it was worth eating or not. Some of them were, some of them weren't very good.
Well, Dan, tell us more about sweet potatoes versus yams.
Well, it's an interesting thing. This isn't so much a controversy between the yam and the sweet potato. The sweet potato, Ipomea, is a native of Central and South America. And it was cultivated there millennia ago as a food plant. But what is really interesting is that this root crop made it out into the Pacific, right the way across the Pacific, even onto as far as New Guinea, in pre-European contact time. And we've all heard about Thor Heyerdahl and the Kon-Tiki expedition and how he had this theory that the Aboriginal American peoples traveled across the Pacific by raft. And we've all heard about how traditional science has poo-pooed that idea and, dumped all over Thor Heyerdahl. In actual fact, we've got evidence that there was trans-Pacific contact. Now, I'm not suggesting that a raft from South America made it all the way to New Guinea, because that's a bit absurd. But certainly from hand to hand, from spot to spot, the sweet potato made it across the Pacific. And what's interesting is that in the Pacific Islands, the name for this plant is kumara, or something very, very close to that. And that is the word that is used on the west coast of South America. So the plant and the name got spread across the Pacific by Aboriginal watercraft.
Wow.
But there's a little corollary to this, in that it wasn't apparently all a one-way trip, because there's increasing evidence that chickens made it to South America long before Columbus ever did.
Interesting.
What are chickens? Where are chickens native?
Is native of Southeast Asia. So chickens grew up in the shade of the durian tree. Maybe they ate durian, which makes them taste so good.
Yeah.
Anyway, there is undoubted evidence, concrete evidence, that the chicken was known in South America, at least on the west coast of South America, before the Spanish arrived there. And those who are into the chicken business will know about the Araucanian chicken breed, which lays blue and pale green eggs. And those are from Chile.
Interesting.
Apparently the descendants of chickens that were brought across the Pacific thousands of years ago.
From Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Well, that is fabulous to learn this stuff. But back to the. Did you have something more to say about that, or I'd like to go back to the fact that people call sweet potatoes, or some types of sweet potatoes,
Oh,
yams.
we can go back to that, sure.
Yeah, and they call them yams. Now, I would really like to try some yams. Do you have to spank them up a bit, like make them taste a little better by adding spices and things, or?
Well, if you've got your yam, and about, I think at the moment, perhaps the House of the Caribbean downtown and the independent grocery are about the only places you're going to get yam, real yam. It's a starchy root. It's probably not the sort of tip top of the culinary experience, but it will fill you up. If you peel it and boil it.
Well, I'm going to try some because I really want to be able to speak intelligently about it.
Yeah, you might want to think about things like salt and pepper and maybe some butter and. Well, I just stopped there for the moment to see. Yeah. Go the rest of the way by ear, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So,
but it's a major source of starch in the diet of a lot of countries.
Wow.
What about stuff like taro root? Isn't that like something that you have to treat quite a bit before it's edible?
Well, taro is a colocasia, which is a house plant here, and it's grown again throughout the tropics. In Hawaii, traditionally, it is what is used to make poi, where it's boiled and then sort of pulped, and you end up with something that looks like sort of Elmer's glue. And having been to Hawaii, been to a luau where this traditional foods were served, the host of the luau was talking about the poi, and he said, you might want to put a little bit of that on a side plate and taste it before you swamp your food with it.
Good advice.
Dan, we're going to have to leave it at that note. We've got to take a break now. But always great to have you call in. Always interesting, different topics we have to discuss, and I appreciate your friendship.
Well, we will meet again.
Okay, buddy. Take care.
Thanks, Dan.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Bye now.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
there you go.
That was an interesting conversation.
Yeah,
we're going to take a break. This be like we do every 15 minutes. Do invite your calls. We've got some time left on the first portion of the show. 250-862-2525. We'll be back with more AM 1150 Garden Show. We are back on a beautiful Saturday morning, and I say that with no hesitation whatsoever. There's been times when I've been in denial and said, well, it's a beautiful Saturday morning, and it's kind of crappy. But no, today is a beautiful Saturday morning, guaranteed. So if you haven't been outside, or you haven't looked outside, or you haven't taken a walk in this beautiful early winter weather we're having in the Okanagan here, I would suggest you do that. even take a little walk through the garden, see what's going on, because stuff goes on at this time of year too. You see certain things, but like broken trees from snow load. And
yeah, it's been an interesting fall already, and this extra snow, the extra wet snow, has not been a real good thing. You know, it's caused a lot of damage on all types of plants, and not much you can do. Often you just have to go cut it out. Sometimes you can tie it up. Sometimes you can strap it. The strapping sometimes works well, but it is what it is. Not much you can do.
Well, we're going to go to the phone lines before our big break here and talk to Mel. Good morning, Mel.
Good morning, Don.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you. I found a roll of edging in my shed. Mm-hmm. It's about 4 inches wide, and I'd say there's about 20 to 25 feet of it in the roll. Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea where I could get that?
Well,
or where I got it at?
Where you got it? Well, okay, because you're telling me it's in a roll, it's a fairly low-end edging.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not as, you can get that at any garden center or whatever, but...
hardware stores,
Ken, our good friend Mike handles that stuff, doesn't he?
Well, it comes in straight lengths, completely different product. It's a higher, it's a sort of a industrial grade, comes in straight lengths, 20 feet long.
You can roll it into a pickup. You can kind of fold it into a pickup.
No, what I'm talking about, this is just a little 4-inch wide thing, and it's really skinny. It's not thick or nothing.
Is it plastic?
And it's sort of, well, you know them beveled roofing slats that were
I know the one,
2 feet wide and about 8 feet long?
Yeah.
It's like fiberglass, is it? Or is it...
like fiberglass.
Is it green?
Yeah.
It's green, yeah. I know the stuff. We used to sell it all the time, Ken.
Yeah.
It's, you can still buy that at garden centers, yeah.
Where would I go? At the garden center?
Any garden center, Rona, Knapp's, Bylands. Don't think Dogwood is open at the moment, but, Dogwood is still open, but they won't be open for over Christmas. I think they're closing down. Yeah. But, just check the garden centers and you'll see them.
Okay, great. Very good.
You betcha, Mel.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Good luck.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes here left on this portion of the show, Ken, and there's no calls. So let's just talk about edging. And the I've been buying that brown edging,
it's a bender board.
Bender board, it's called.
Yeah, it's a different product. It's really good for curves and turns, and it's very difficult to install straight. And so that's one of the issues with it, I find anyway, is that, depending on the skill of the guys who are doing the installation, is that you generally have to be pretty particular if you want it to be nice and straight. If you're doing curves and turns, it's great, and that's where the name bender board, I think, comes in. Yeah. If your straight stretches are not super, super long. And it's like anything. I think that it's probably one of the better products. I mean, it's going to last forever. There's no doubt about that. The black edging is available in all different grades and different sizes and rolls, but the straight lengths are more like the industrial grade stuff, which is of much better quality. And when it's installed, the ones we get are 6 inches instead of 4 inches, so they're a little deeper. Mm-hmm. And when you put them in, the bead at the top, which is it almost looks like a black poly line of some sort, that needs to be rested right on the soil surface. So it's right down low, and none of the straight edge part is exposed. No. As soon as you start to expose the straight edge below that round bead, you will start to get turning and curving and movement, because it's a product that expands and contracts because of temperature. It can be frost, it can be just cold temperatures, it could be hot days. It's all those things that cause it to move, and it kind of worms its way around. Mm-hmm. So it is spiked down in most cases, but it does tend to work its way up.
It does, yeah.
So the maintenance of it is that if you see it working its way up, you should go and dig it back down and then try to restake it. But in the initial installation, if the guys do a really nice job and get it down nice and low, it generally doesn't move much. Mm-hmm. So you really only need about 3/4 of that bead exposed on the surface to do its job. Mm-hmm. And then all we do is, for lawn care, is use your weed whacker to whack right along the edge of that bead. Mm-hmm. And that's really all you need to do. It's just more or less, it's defining the area. It's not used to hold mulch in a bed or something like that, like a retaining system. It doesn't work well for that at all. So that's where I think it's incorrectly used a lot of times. It's just installed wrong, or it's installed way too high, and it's going to bend and twist and worm its way right out of there.
When's the best time to install it? In the heat or in the cool? Because, if you install it in the heat, it's stretched out already. Weather cools down and it shrinks.
So it doesn't really matter, I would say, because it's so flexible. Yeah. It's such a nice product to work with. It does straight lines. It does angles. Because you buy it as a straight piece, it stays straight, and then it's easy to bend. Other products that you'll see are aluminum. Aluminum is also purchased. It's just, it's whatever 5, 6, 8 times more expensive. So, the cost is way more, but the product is perfectly straight. And then that's a product that's a little tougher to get to do its curving.
Yeah.
But that's it. They're all different, and I'd say it's whatever you can afford and whatever way you want to go. We used to use cedar. Remember that? Oh, God. The old days.
I used to laminate pieces of cedar.
Yeah.
There'd be 3 laminations, and I don't think any of that's kicking around anymore. But and we used to use the creosote. I was covered in creosote back in the day, landscaping. It was something else, eh?
Jeez, eh?
Yeah, but I use, the treated lumber that you buy nowadays is much safer. And I use, if I've got straight lines to do, I see nothing wrong with using a treated 2x4 or 2x6, sunk down nicely, and it does give a little bit of an edge for the the mulch to hold in and whatnot. But it also, with my auto mower, my Husqvarna auto mower, I've created quite a system. You'll see it today when we come by. You'll see the system I have of a little barrier. I've got the bender board at the back for the auto mower to bump into.
Yep.
And then I've got regular regular landscape edging on the outside, and then some little gravel space in between. So it's actually quite attractive. And
and this bender board product will actually hold the mulch in, and that's what it's really. I think it's one of its real positive benefits is that you can have it a little higher.
Ken, we've got to take the big break before another rip-roaring hour of Garden Show. We appreciate your listening. Appreciate your calls when we come back with more AM 1150 Garden Show. Well, we are back with you on a beautiful Saturday morning. And before I got here this morning, I went, as usual, my morning visit to in my greenhouse, and looking at my plants and checking things out. And I am telling you, I'm having so much fun with the greenhouse this year. And I have 2 tomato plants in there that are just smoking right now. They're just smoking. And I've got 2 pepper plants started, and I've got 2 cucumber plants started.
Oh, there you go.
Finally, I'm going to have a winter crop of food in the greenhouse. I'm going to put some lettuce in as well.
Yep.
And I'm not doing spinach. It just seems the spinach is an aphid hound.
Oh, okay.
For some reason in the greenhouse. I just I want to get in touch with the bug lady or somebody and get some beneficials into the greenhouse, because I think that's going to be a nice balance going on. And it's something I can do in a small greenhouse like that. I've got control, right?
Yep.
Especially in the wintertime, because there's nothing coming in. But the beneficials have to have something to eat.
Yeah, it depends on what they are, which ones you choose. Like, and some of them come, I think, as eggs as well. Which, I think you're going to have to find out what's available, what form it comes in, and then you'll know how to release them. And they'll come with instructions of what to do. But you do need to have some sort of source, so that'd be the first start. But it'll be interesting to see if they don't just die out once they eat everything. It's just in nature, these beneficial insects won't even come near you if you don't have a pretty decent infestation. Right, because they won't lay eggs there if they don't have enough food to support their family. So they're pretty smart that way, and they'll try to get out of there, which I'm sure would be a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, at this time of year.
Yeah.
Well, it's just fascinating, Ken, because over the years I have certainly changed my vision of what's going on, and of course the whole world of horticulture has changed as well. In the fact that we're using far fewer pesticides, traditional pesticides. I mean, we used to use some stuff that make your hair curl in the greenhouse. I mean, pretty rough stuff, and we just used it. That was what we did. It
was recommended. Yeah.
It was recommended. It was what the standard thing. I mean, for instance, on the poinsettias, we used to use a product called Temic.
Yeah.
Aldicarb. It was called.
Aldicarb, yeah.
And we used to go in with a little whirlybird spreader and just sprinkle Temic granules all over the poinsettias, and it was systemic. Fabulous. Not a white fly, nothing, nada. However, it definitely went off the market many years ago because it was very toxic, very heavily toxic.
Well, it has a strong residual effect.
And the residualness. And so here you are selling poinsettias. You talk about poinsettias, the rumor out there over the years that poinsettias were poisonous. Well, they're not poisonous, but we made them poisonous.
Yeah, that's right. Adding a systemic
back in the day. Maybe
insecticide.
That's why. Yeah, maybe that's why. But nowadays, and the interesting thing is, and I'd say this in my talks to the various garden clubs and whatnot, I haven't used a pesticide per se in my yard for years. We used to do blanket sprays, just go in and spray the roses as a protective with Latox, Isotox, and Funginex, and a few other mixtures of things to keep the mildew and the aphids and mites and things off them. But nowadays, and you were really, I've told this story before, but you were the one that really got me turn the corner on even my thoughts, just thinking, oh, maybe there's something to that, and that was when you wrote in the nursery with a spritzer in a 1 acre nursery with a spritzer,
trying to manage just those tiny little outbreaks and let the bugs do the rest.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I think nowadays that they just really work on that preventive. Everything is preventive, so that means if the insects never get in there, then you're never going to have the problem. And in a lot of these new style grow ops, because they've been going for a long time, but you don't just walk in and out of there anytime you want. You have to get suited up often and put on the the white suit to make sure you're not carrying insects on your body into the place. And that's how the spider mites usually get in, is they just travel in on people. And aphids can as well, and other insects. So it's really just this really heightened awareness of where the bugs can come in, how they can get in, how they can infest, and just don't let them do that. And so, like you were saying, is that you want to grow certain things, and like say even spinach cannot create its own aphids. You have to have them in there to begin with, right? So when you take them from seed and grow them right there, and they should be clean. But you never know. It's one of those things you might have it all under control now because
Well, it looks good.
Yeah,
you'll see it today, and we're going to have a little visit there today.
Yeah, for sure.
In the greenhouse, and you'll see it's looking darn good. And of course, I'm getting through that trauma.
Yeah,
that
last year or two.
I mean, I put the greenhouse. The first winter was 2017.
Yeah,
and I was ready to go. I thought, here we go. We got a greenhouse. It's heated. It's got climate control in it. It's got everything you need. Aluminum benches, clean. It's really nice. I had so much grief and disappointment that first year of things doing weird stuff that I didn't know was what was going on. Well into the second year. The second year was 2018, the winter of 2018-19. It wasn't, and through that winter, I started thinking, well, is the problem, is it coming from the heater? Is it coming from the soil? Is it coming, I was trying to figure out all these things. And Donna, of course, she came up with, well, it might be in those that paneling you used to sheathe the inside of the greenhouse. It was that crushed press board kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I started doing some research on that, and there is formaldehyde.
And formaldehyde is in a lot of insulation as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything that has any type of insulation typically would have that, and there's a lot of products that have it. So I think it's real heightened awareness that how much that affects plants.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely phytotoxic. I mean, I'd come in the house from the greenhouse almost in tears to Donna and saying, there's something wrong going on. I mean, I've grown plants now for 50 years. What's going on here, Yeah. And so that's why I'm so excited about the greenhouse right now, is that none of that's there anymore. There's not one plant that's exhibiting any kind of that. When I put a seed in, it germinates properly. When I put cuttings in, they root properly. When formaldehyde was just messing everything up. It was just awful.
Yeah.
But it's cleared out now. It's just had time to air out, and we're on the road to success.
Yeah, and you put some poly or something over it,
I put some poly over it. I did put some vapor barrier over top of it, but of course there's lots of it in the head house and whatnot that is still exposed. So that was
I'm sure it dissipates over a couple of years.
It's all aired out now. It's aired out. And of course through the summer, I got the fresh air coming in, the second year, 2018, 2019, okay, it aired out in the summer, but as winter progressed, it reared its ugly head again, because the summer was nice and aired out, but then when winter came, I sealed everything off, and so now it's focused and concentrated again, right? Mm-hmm. So I was getting in 2018, 2019, I was getting quite a bit of trouble. 2019, 2020, which was last winter, big improvement, but still a little bit of stuff going on.
Yeah.
This year, nothing is going on. Cross my fingers, because it could, now that it's sealed up. There could be a whiff here and there showing.
And it tells you, too, why on those days when it's beautiful out, you should just open the doors and let the thing ventilate a bit.
Yeah, just open the doors and let a fan come in. and
get some fresh air.
Good plan. Good plan. I'm going to do that.
Whenever possible.
You betcha. Okay, we're going to take a short break. We do invite your calls. It is the winter time, and I know you're not out in the garden or whatever, but there's all sorts of things that you can talk about. Your indoor plants, how to root geranium cuttings, if you're maybe still got some geranium mother plants that you might want to do that with. All sorts of things that you could be doing. Mm-hmm. And Ken and I are here to answer your questions. And, hey, we can just keep talking gardening because we got so much to talk about. And we're going to take that short break, and we'll be back with more AM 1150 Garden Show. Yeah, we're back, and we've got Donna giving us a call. Good morning, Donna.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question. All of these sort of like designer-type pumpkins that we had for Halloween, can you eat them?
Sure. Some of them they're not poisonous or anything. Some of them are tastier than others. We had a big pumpkin that Donna cooked up and did a thing with it. It wasn't that tasty. So, it's the best thing in the world for dogs. Dogs love pumpkin and squash. So she freezes it in chunks, and when the dogs are pleading for a treat, she gives them pumpkin and squash.
Wow. Yeah. Huh. So in general, none of them are poisonous then?
None of them are poisonous.
Okay.
You can eat them, but some are tastier than others. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had one from my neighbor last year, and it was one of those sort of bluey colored ones, and it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually a slightly different species that has really nice flavor, actually.
Okay, and she's got another one sitting on her step now, and it's the orange, but it's got like beige bumps on it and stuff.
Interesting.
Okay, so I can try them.
Oh, I would. I think, sure.
What do you call it? Bake them in the oven and then make soup out of them.
Yeah, you bet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and
that's great.
Ship a little over to me. I love it.
I'll be raiding her front doorstep.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
Oh, good. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for calling.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's a great family, that squash family, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's fabulous.
Good food.
Yeah, easy to grow, and it produces a lot. Like one fruit basically is enough for several meals, at least.
For a child, it's not the most delightful thing to serve a child. Our eldest daughter, Elisa, when she was about 6 or 7. We're trying to get her to eat squash. Always trying to get your kids to eat good stuff, right? And she said, she just said, Dad, I can't eat it. She says, I'll vomit if I do. I'll get sick. I said, Lisa, you're not going to get sick eating squash. One mouthful and blah, right at the table. Yeah. It was so funny. It wasn't funny. Well, it was funny in a way. It's what happens with kids. But she
didn't put enough brown sugar on it. That's the problem.
It was all in her head. It was just the look of it. It just didn't look.
It's kind of scary looking. Yep. I can see that.
What are some of the foods that you love to eat and hate to eat? I'll tell you. I'll tell you one thing. Kale is starting to bother me.
Why?
I just don't seem to like it. Donna's been trying to feed me kales in a salad, and it's nothing that I'm just, isn't this beautiful, this kale salad. But I love Brussels sprouts. I love broccoli. I love squash. I love some of the other things that some people don't like, but kale.
What's a nice combination is the turnip or rutabaga with carrots.
Yes, that is
a nice combination.
That's a nice combination.
Lightly cubed.
Maybe a few peas added in.
Could be.
Yeah, a few peas. These are all good.
Now you're making me hungry.
I know, but that's nice to be hungry on vegetables. It's a good thing.
And it's a good year for carrots. I think we did really well in carrots this year. It was I'd say first time really since we've moved into that house, which has been I think since 2007, so quite some time. And we haven't had a real good crop, and I'm sort of leaning towards the weather conditions where it must have been weather conditions, and we're trying different varieties too. And
what's your soil like there?
Well, we were in raised bins, so with raised bins, it is whatever we decide to put in them. Yeah. So this year we're adding a lot more leaf mold. Because we have I've been collecting my leaves in buckets over the last couple seasons, so I just have to get somebody strong enough to actually lift them up and move them. They're getting a bit of water in them now too, just from the last snow, and so I got to get them up and get them into the gardens, let them sit over winter. It's already rotted for a year, so it's starting to break down, make some nice leaf mold, and man, does that feed those worms. The worms just go crazy for leaf mold.
The worms are great. Worms are great. 250-862-2525 to get through to Ken and I if you want to join the conversation. We're talking gardening, of course. That's what we do every Saturday morning here on AM 1150. It's a pleasurable thing to do. I enjoy coming in on Saturday mornings, Ken, and sharing our information and that. I've learned so much from you over the years, and
ditto, Don.
Well, it's just kind of cool. It's good, good combination, and what I'm going to do right now, though, is just have a look at my notes because I'm telling you, we've got... I'm still looking for a pachypodium. I could use a pachypodium. I could use one really bad. Really bad. Really badly. So if anybody has a pachypodium that they want to sell...
It's a plant. With the spines up the stems.
It's a spiny thing. And if you're tired of the spines and that, and you want to share...
It's really a palm tree, is what it really... I think they look like a palm tree.
Well...
I wonder how big they... Oh, yeah, that's right.
They call them Madagascar palm.
They get to be huge, right?
Yeah, they do call them that.
Yeah.
250-862-2525 to get through to us today. And we've got Wayne joining us. Good morning, Wayne.
Yeah, good morning. I heard you talking about insects, etc. this morning. Well, I'm wondering about ants. Do you have a method of getting rid of the ants from out in the garden? And now they're spreading into the house type of thing.
Yeah. Well,
baby ones.
There's lots of products on the market that have borax in them. And those borax products, the ants actually take them back to the nest and kill the nest out. And they've been quite successful if you're diligent with them. Keep it up. There's little ant traps. Those are sugar ants that are coming in the house, and they're foraging. They're looking for food, right?
Yes.
And they can be a nuisance. They don't do any harm out in the garden to a degree. They don't do lots of harm, but they certainly don't want. Most people don't want them in the house to
Right, yeah.
unless there's just a few of them. But try the ant traps.
Well, we have, and we've tried even this borax with sugar, and it seems to help for a while. But then we, another 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, they come back again, especially into the house.
Well,
in the garden, we can't seem to eliminate them at all.
Well, try some. I'll tell you what. Try some diatomaceous earth in the house. You can use that safely in the house. Diatomaceous.
What would we do with that? Just spread it around, say, the edge of the
along the baseboards, and where you see the ants foraging, and you'll see the trails of ants, right?
Right. Yes.
That's where you would use it. Any other ideas, Ken?
What we notice is that we'll get rid of them in one spot, say in the kitchen, for a while. Then they jump up into the bedroom the next time we see them, and then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, they'll be in the bathroom. They seem to, and we kill them all off, and but then they seem to sprout up in different areas.
Yeah, they're getting in. They're finding a way in, and that makes it difficult because then they actually sometimes even start to nest right in the walls.
Right.
And it's just one of these things. But the problem with ant populations is they're generally much bigger than what we see. There can be millions and millions of the ants in the one colony. And so, if you kill off a couple 100,000, it doesn't really make much of a difference.
That's what we're finding, yes.
You might, though, find some of these residual sprays with tetramethrin in them and permethrin. There's a couple of residual. I think it's tetramethrin.
Yeah, you're probably even good just to contact one of the structural pest control companies, and they might be able to help you with that because they specialize in that sort of structural pest control.
And unfortunately, we did one time and paid $300. And the ants loved it. They came back in swarms.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, we've had issues in our basement suite with ants. However, I have found that outside, with using the ant traps, using some residual sprays and diatomaceous earth, trying to control them outside, because they do kind of go back and forth too in many ways. But I found too, one of the big things is to really watch your, crumbs and things like that, or sugary drinks or anything like that might be left around. That's very, very helpful, and if you keep that under control, that's very helpful for the ant population too to keep that down.
Okay, yeah, we'll try that. And I do have a lot of that diatomaceous earth. I bought some time ago.
Yeah.
Didn't get a chance to use it for other purposes, but we'll maybe try that around the house too.
Yeah. Now, my brother-in-law, Don Stoles, worked for the city of Kelowna for many, many years, and he was in that department where he was his job was insect control and whatnot. And he found that diatomaceous earth worked very well on ants. I wouldn't have thought so because it's not a soft-bodied type of insect. Usually that's more for softer body things. But Donnie said it worked like a darn for ants. So just try that.
We will, for sure.
All righty. Yep. Thanks for calling.
Bye now.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Diatomaceous earth, Ken, are the diatoms, the fossilized microscopic things.
Yeah, organisms.
They're like tiny, tiny little razor blades.
Yeah, little pieces of broken glass. That's what it's like for them. But that also means that you don't want to breathe it, right?
That's right.
Because it actually is probably close to being like broken glass. Yep. And, best to avoid breathing the dust, but it is what it is, and it certainly works well on crawling insects.
Yeah, for sure. 250-862-2525 to get through to Ken and I today. We're looking out the window at a beautiful Saturday morning, and I'm not kidding this time. And so we're going to take that short break. We'll be back with more AM 1150 Garden Show. We are back with you on a beautiful Saturday morning, and we do invite your calls, 250-862-2525 to get through to us today. And, there's so much going on right now. And I mentioned my tip of the week is to look up, your seed catalogs online. Or like I get 2 or 3 of them shipped to me still as a actual catalog.
An actual paper catalog.
A paper catalog. It's kind of nice
strange is that?
to be able to do that and look at, your breakfast. You look through your it's interesting when we look at what we want to plant for spring and you see the seed cattle, when you bring a package of seeds in, you've got multiple seeds. That's okay if you're growing radishes, lettuce outside, things like that.
Yeah.
And carrots. However, if you just want a basil plant or a couple of basils, it's better just to go and buy the plant in the spring.
Yeah, well, it's got that head start, right?
Yeah.
And so, and basil's unique. I think that each plant, I find every single type of plant, I think is sort of unique, whether it's something you want to save seed from year to year, or if you want to buy the seed, or like you say, just buy the plants. Like tomato plants, you really only need 4 or 5 tomato plants, so it's kind of hard to. But I'm a strong believer in getting the right variety, which is really hard to do when you're buying the plants. They seem like the tags get mixed up. So I'm really I'm liking saving tomato seeds, and I'm liking buying them from buying the seed from a good source.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm only growing 1 tomato. Well, 2. I like to grow a grape tomato. I like the grapes, grape tomato. But I'm only growing 1 tomato now forever, and it's the one that Sal Caruso gave me a plant a few years ago, and he got the seed from Italy. It's like a big, huge paste tomato, and it's it's huge. I mean, I've got them size 4, 5, 6 inches in diameter, meaty. They're like a steak. And they got a point to them, like an old ox heart type, right? And there's in fact, saving seeds is a little difficult because there's not that many seeds in them. That's how meaty they are. There's very little liquid. It's just meat. And I grew 3 varieties last year, and that was one of them. And I said to Donna, that's the only one I'm going to grow now. I'm not going to grow any other varieties. I don't need any other tomatoes. Now, they're not an early variety, but now that I have the greenhouse, I can keep that going.
Yeah, it's all that whole thing of getting them started, bringing them on, but not putting them out too early. Yeah. So keeping them going in a healthy environment. Like I really shoot for the 1st of June, but I can't wait that long. I often want to get them out around the 20th of May. Yeah. And but then having a cover for them or something, just keep them warm. It's a tough thing. The tomato plants, they love warm soil.
And warm nights.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. People say, I put my tomatoes out in end of April or 20th of April. I got my tomatoes out because it wasn't freezing. It's not a matter of it freezing. It's a matter of it being cold at night, and they shiver, and certain things happen to them. It sets them back, and they don't recover.
Yeah, so Earth is too cold.
You got to have them warm. So putting them out in the daytime in their containers, bringing them in at night, putting them out in the daytime.
That's what I like about raised beds. Raised beds do warm up faster, especially if your soil is a little bit on the sandy side. That's helpful. And then, we have just put plastic over top of our raised beds, clear plastic from time to time just to get them heating up early, get some warmth into the ground. There's techniques you can use. And, of course, you can put little hoops over your raised beds. And, there's all those things that are really helpful for
lots
sure.
Of things you can do. Ken, I was mentioning off air that the great program that the City of Kelowna has and other municipalities have, the green bin system of garden waste. So you can put your garden waste in the green bin. They pick them up. That's extended again this year. Last year they did the same thing right through till December 31st. They're still going to be collecting greens from your garden. So what people do too is they'll cut up their Christmas tree and put them in the green bin.
Right.
Making sure there's no tinsel or anything on there, but chopping them all up into small pieces and putting them in the green bin works quite well. Do you have that in Lake Country? The bin
course.
system? Yeah, you've got the bin system there too.
Yep.
And they have it in West Kelowna. And the one thing we don't have here in the Okanagan, and I don't know if they're going to be experimenting with it at all, but on the Sunshine Coast where my sister lives, and I believe in Vancouver, there's a kitchen waste bin that you can put out with all your wet stuff from the kitchen. Not meat. I don't think meat is allowed, any meat products or anything like that. But
Yeah,
so
it's definitely different. Like it does tend to, it's not like a regular compostable item, even though it is compostable. Mm-hmm. It's just it has to be carefully blended with other compost. And if you do the composting yourself, of course, you can add it in.
You're talking meat?
I'm talking about just vegetables.
Oh, vegetables. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So the types of vegetables like celery, I think, is the same as any composted product. Any leafy stuff, it's gone before it hits the ground half the time. Mm-hmm. So personally, I don't see a problem putting that in there. But other types of things, for whatever reason, are not recommended, like fruits. Mm-hmm. So in the compost section. So they do have that special, and they might start that here in the Okanagan too.
I'd like to look more into it and see what they do accept and what they don't and what not. But the other thing too, folks, and I am a huge believer in this too, not putting stuff down the toilet and things that are not just regular stuff that you put down the toilet. Mm-hmm. And down the kitchen sink. The grease is so hard on the system.
On your pipes.
On the pipes, and the city of Kelowna battles that all the time, people. So, keep that in mind. Don't be flushing floss, that sort of stuff. Just really keep in mind what goes down there, because it just doesn't disappear and go into some magic heaven for, waste materials. It
plugs everything up.
It has to go through a system, a very elaborate system, and we've got one of the best systems in the country in our Kelowna municipality system, the Bardon-Faux system that we brought in the late 70s. It was developed in South Africa, I believe, and it's one of the best systems out there, and to clean up the sewage. But it's still garbage in, garbage out is really. Yeah, the old saying, and so you really want to be careful and keep that in mind when you're putting stuff down the drain, whether it's the toilet or the sink. Just keep in mind where it's got to be looked after as it goes through the system. Mm-hmm. Okay, 250-862-2525 to get through to us today. We've got a slow day for calls, but that's okay. We've always got something to talk about. I want to wish my beautiful, lovely granddaughter, who just will be turning 12 on Monday. Just seems like yesterday, Ken, on this very station, we were sitting here at this very desk celebrating her birth in 2008, I believe it was. 2008. She's 12. So, 2008. Good, I got that right. The worst part is if you forget your anniversary. Forgetting a granddaughter's birthday might not be as bad. But anyway, Ellie, happy birthday. You're turning 12. I can't believe it. You've turned into a beautiful young lady, and and you're smart. You've got all sorts of things going on. You're athletic, and it's
awesome.
Grandpa's proud of you. And
there you go. Happy birthday.
Yeah, Ellie.
Yeah, that's awesome, Ellie. Very nice.
Ellie Ann.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to, just before we take this break, I think we can probably go to the phone lines, and I'm sure that we have somebody on the line here. Oh, yes. Is this Wayne? Good morning, Wayne. No, not Wayne. Oh, we're going to take an early break. Okay, there we go. We're going to take an early break.
We got it.
And we'll be back with more AM 1150 Garden Show. Yeah, we are back with you, and interesting scenario sometimes when you're trying to work things out and where you're going to go and whatnot. And we got back with you. So here we are, and I invite your calls, 250-862-2525 to get through to Ken and I today. Ken, have you got any onions stored by chance?
No.
Yeah, we did. We had our sweet Spanish onions that we grew, our Elsa Craig and our Kelsey's. Mm-hmm. And we had a beautiful crop this year, and we're just getting through the last of them now. And so we'll probably end up going and buying a big bag of keeper onions, Stuttgarts or one of those onions that keep. Because the Spanish onions, unless they're really cured properly, tend to get a little soft, and they don't keep as well.
Yeah.
But boy, are they delicious. We love our summer onions chopped up, Donna makes beautiful soup. So she's got some celery soup on the go right now that's just delicious. But if I chop up one of those Spanish onions and put that in the soup, wow, just
I love onions.
It's great. It's
have them
beautiful.
in everything,
Absolutely.
even on my cereal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I even put that hot pepper stuff on my
your
ice cream.
Your hot pepper mix.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
We've got Gordon joining us. Good morning, Gordon.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Yeah, listening to you talking about aphids and a few things. I got a big bay window in my master bedroom here that for years I've been growing up here in Smith Creek, West Bank, growing various plants. Mm-hmm. And I usually propagate these little geraniums and put them in them little 4-inch pots. But I noticed last year I had a bit of trouble with a bit of aphids and listen to you. But as I'm sitting here many times watching TV and looking out the window, I've seen the odd little fly. And I don't know if it's anything to do with the aphids or not. And then I got thinking of my mother years ago when you used to have your little glass of red wine at supper time and, oh, darn, there's a little bug in it or something. Mm-hmm. And my mother used to say, oh, they don't drink much. So anyway, I took a 4-inch little dish here of a quarter of an inch in yesterday afternoon and put it in, and I'll be darned if there's about 4 of them little flies. I've hardly seen any of them, but I thought, well, 4 is pretty good. So I don't know, it's just an idea. But the other question, the main question was this Safer 3-in-1 that I got down Bylands there. Is that okay to use if you need to? I haven't used it yet in the bay window in the bedroom here.
Oh, sure.
On the plant.
It's very safe to use. 3-in-1. They have soap, the Safer soap in there. They have pyrethrums, which is a botanical plant-based insecticide, and they'll have sulfur in there for fungal issues. So that's all 3 of those are safe to use indoors in your bay window.
Bit of an odor.
Yeah, there's
a sulfur end. Yeah.
The sulfur would create a little odor, as Ken was saying, but
some people just take the plant, just walk out the door and give it a spritz, and then shake it off, let it drip, and then bring it in. As long as it doesn't get too much of a chill, right, in the wintertime. So,
what about the New Guinea? I brought one of those big New Guineas that I got up at one of the nurseries this summer in, and it's doing great. Are they subject to aphids much? You know,
not really. I don't see too much on them. They're subject more to root disease. If you overwater them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently you can propagate them. I'm going to try that too, like I do with my geraniums. I've had great success with the geraniums. Yeah. Yep,
they're very rootable. You can root those quite easily. Yeah.
One thing does not change subject, but in your greenhouse, you got grow lights in the wintertime to
I do.
Supplement the sun?
I've got a grow light over my tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers.
Yeah, because I have a...
and it basically, and I don't keep it on all the time.
No.
I use it to extend the day. I have it come on at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it shuts off at 9 o'clock, then comes on at 5 in the morning, shuts off at 8.
Yeah, what do you use? Just those fluorescent grow lights?
No, I have a proper high-pressure sodium grow lamp. Yeah. And they're coming out with the new stuff, too,
There's lots of different things with LEDs and
LEDs
whatnot.
now,
Yeah. Less power, that's what I'm thinking,
Yeah. Less heat.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Well, thank you for the call. We appreciate it, Gordon.
Yep.
Yeah, you bet.
Take care.
Now.
Okay,
there you
bye-bye.
Go. I guess we should talk about Ariel's plants and her aphids, because they are aphids. We had a close look. Those were great shots, Ariel. Thanks for sending those out. And definitely there was actual live aphids running around, and then there was the skins of aphids, which were the white things that you'd see. Because aphids shed their skin every few days or so, so it's often something you'll see is the dead skins of the aphids, which usually you'll see that first because the aphids are green and blend in with the background. So, but not really anything to be too concerned about. But maybe, Don, you can add to that.
And this is outside. This is on our hellebore. So at this time of year, of course, those aphids are going to freeze, or they'll be overwintering eggs and overwintering. Actually, the eggs hatch into an already pregnant female. I think that's how it works, but whatever. Yeah. It's a fascinating life cycle for the aphids. But outside, I wouldn't worry too much about them. Maybe wash them off with some water or whatever. But other than that, those little castings were aphid skins, that white stuff. Now, there was someone else that wanted us to talk a little bit more about the Christmas cactus, the Schlumbergia.
Yeah,
zygo cactus.
Yeah, great plant. I sure love them. I just have the two main colors. I used to have another one, but it's sort of faded away. But yeah, they're great long-term plants, and they grow in the house just fine. What they need to trigger them to bloom is the cooling of the nights, typically in the month of September. You can postpone that till October if you want to try to get them to bloom closer to Christmas. I just do it in September because I can put them outside. That's perfect temperature. Cools off at night outside, and I put them in a shady spot and leave them out there for about 4 weeks, and then I can bring them in before the end of September, and they're good. They just readapt and start to bloom through the month of October and November. Mine have just finished blooming, so it's earlier than Christmas, but that's because, again, just the convenience of putting them out in September. But super easy. The thing is they are a tropical plant, that they are a rainforest plant, and they're usually epiphytic more than anything, so they'll tend to grow in the crotches and branches of trees. And there is sort of a soil mix that happens in those conditions where it's just years and years of compost and whatnot building up in those in the crotches of the trees. So that's where these plants like to grow. And in the wild, we saw them down in Key West, and they were hanging down about, 10 feet down a tree. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
And, I didn't see them in bloom, but they must have been just spectacular.
And I have seen tiny air roots coming off the joints once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Ken, we've got to go back to the phone lines.
Yep.
We got Penny calling in. Good morning, Penny.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a sky pencil Japanese holly in a pot outdoors. It's not very big. I just put it in last spring. It's about 2 feet tall. Will it survive outside in the winter?
That's a tough one. I'm not sure the actual hardiness rating, but usually the roots are not as hardy as the top. The top is fine in this climate, but the roots might be subject to frost damage. So what I'd be inclined to do is either tuck it in a corner somewhere, and if you can, maybe pile up something around the base of it or wrap it in some insulation or something. If like I say, if there's a sort of a southwest corner outside that you could just tuck it in and maybe bury it up a bit along the base with some mulch or some soil, that would help to protect the base and keep it happy through the winter. And remember to give it some moisture through the winter because they are evergreen. So they do need moisture. If they dry out too much, they will desiccate and can have problems. So
could I put it in the garage? Would that be all right? And give it water?
If it's an unheated garage, they should survive because they might need a little bit of light. So hopefully you have some sort of a window to put them near.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so put them right in front of the window as close as you can, and then try not to get it too hot in there. Keep it cold.
Yeah. I don't heat it, so.
Yeah, it should be that. That's a much better idea, just because then you don't get that desiccation. Plus, you can go out and quite easily give it water, so you can water it pretty much freely as it looks like, or it looks like it needs water. Just go ahead and give it watering, and it'll be happy with that through the winter. But you won't be able to put it out until you get right into probably the end of May sort of timing, unless you are very careful the way it goes out.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you for the call.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. One thing I'd like to do is form I'm not a clubsy guy, but I'd like to form a little group of people that have year-round backyard greenhouses. So we can, once this COVID thing is over, we can actually have little greenhouse parties, little greenhouse get-togethers. And just visit each other's greenhouse. I've thought of that.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Anyway, there was a big concern, of course, this year that with the COVID thing out there, and that the kids are quite concerned about the fact that Santa is maybe not going to happen. But Bonnie Henry has ensured, reassured us that Santa is immune to COVID-19, and that he will be showing up at the homes. Now, he doesn't come he's not going to be doing his appearances at the Bylands, and he's not going to be doing his appearances at the...
So he's got to reduce his appearances a little bit. Santa is immune, and he will be there for you kids, so don't worry about that too much.
Yeah. I was really quite concerned myself. But fortunately, Dr. Henry has reassured us that everything's just going to be fine. It's only for a short time, not a long time. And we're in it together.
There you go. Yeah, let's just try not to get any worse than we are as things start to increase. We have to all be diligent and do our duties. And make sure that we, wear our masks when we're out in public and stay away from people as much as we can. It's a tricky one, and there's a few people out there who don't want to do that.
I know.
So it's like, super spreaders they call them.
Yeah. We think aphids and whitefly and rhizoctonia and things like that are tough to deal with in the greenhouse.
Yeah, you get 2 or 3 of them in a greenhouse, and it slowly spreads. Next thing you know, it's an epidemic.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's exactly what's happening with this virus. So got to be careful. We're going to now give our tips and plants of the week. Okay, I'm going to find my tips and plants. My tip, of course, this week is the 2021 seed catalogs are available online. So have a look, see what's new and exciting for next year. And my plant of the week is the Cornus Natalii Eddie's White Wonder, one of my favorite dogwoods. Ken, you've got a couple of other dogs that you're quite interested in, too. Maybe we'll talk about them next week.
You betcha.
Eddie's White Wonder is a beauty.
There you go. I also have a tip on a plant. My tip of the week is that having a number of beautiful houseplants in your house not only looks good, but it also humidifies and it helps to filter the air. And so that leads to my plant of the week, which is the Chlorophytum, which is a spider plant. And all the spider plant family are known to be one of the best for filtering air. So it's always nice to have a few of those growing in your house. Plus, they're easy and quite beautiful as well. That's my tips and plants for this week. Remember to check growercoach.com and remember to go to YouTube.